Ladies and gentlemen, right now as we speak, Napa Autograph Alley behind turn 4 is open with the stars of tonight's race program. The drivers in the SK Modifieds head on down for a free autograph and much, much more. Showtime, legend style, first feature event of the night. We're green and racing.
And it's Kyle Rogers getting the jump of Mike Christopher Jr. Has an alley on the outside, and Mike Christopher Jr. trying to blur his way into the lead. Kyle Rogers is not allowing that to happen.
They were almost 3 wide as the 16 is also coming on strong for Jordan LaMothe. Meanwhile, back up front, Kyle Rogers, Mike Christopher, a run nose to tail and side by side. Further back in the field, the number 8 is coming on. Nick Ladyga coming into the top format. Bid for the leads.
Rogers getting the maximum of that inside groove, and here comes Mike Christopher. 15 wins at Waterford Speedbowl, looking for his first win at Stafford as he captures the lead away from Rogers. LaMothe going sideways is able to just barely keep it off the wall.
While that happens, Nicholas Ladyga moves into the 3rd spot. A man with a mission is also Brendon Bock, the number 33 car. Back up front, Mike Christopher, black number 82, like his dad's, that once dominated the racing action here at Stafford. Further back in the field, DiMatteo's, Cory and Dana got their own little mini fight going on. Look at the battle for second, Matt.
And here is Nick Ladyga, who has late model experience in addition to the legends, and he just whiplashes his way underneath Rogers, and Brendon Bock follows him into the top 3.
Car number 8 started scratching the field. Nick Ladyga up to second. Meanwhile, the 33, Brendon Bock, started next to last, is up to the 3rd spot. 6 and counting in this 20-lap event. 16 still not handling as well for Jordan LaMothe, but he's a driver, and he holds on to the 5th spot. Then it is the DiMatteos side by side. They can't shake each other off, Matt.
This is like it could be taking place in their Farmington backyard. Now Dana, the point leader, getting the position against Cory. He's going after Jordan LaMothe in the 16, but a huge lead by a moon crater by Mike Christopher. He came into tonight 3rd in the standings. This would be a very big night for him if he could get his first Stafford victory.
Sure would. And look at Kyle Rogers with that 32 car. After starting on the pole, he's dropped back to the 4th spot. Now, all of a sudden, the 76 of Dana DiMatteo is starting to thread the needle a bit. The 16 car, loose again for Jordan LaMothe. That car's been sideways more than it's been straight tonight, Matt.
And that time he wandered to the outside. That gives Dana DiMatteo the passing room. And Cory DiMatteo does the same thing. So losing 2 positions is LaMothe. The question as we get ready for the second half of the race, and now the yellow comes out for the first time, Noah Korner in car number 31. He has backed himself into the corner as he is on the sidelines, and we have our first yellow. So it'll be a side-by-side restart between Mike Christopher and Nick Ladyga. Nick Ladyga, a pretty accomplished driver, races all over New England, and also has a late model. He started in Bandoleros, went to the Legends, races a late model. He is a pretty talented young driver.
Certainly is. And, of course, we are 10 laps in to this 20-lap event. If you've just joined us for this special presentation of Napa, the biggest payday in the history of the Stafford Motor Speedway, for the SK Modifieds, our schedule looks like this. Following the conclusion of the Legend Car feature event, we'll move to a 15-lap feature for the Dare Stocks, 2 consolation events that I guarantee will have you not only holding on to the edge of your seat, but literally biting your nails in the process. Then we'll go to the limited late models, SK Lights, and the grand finale, and all the twists and turns to determine the outcome.
Very critical restart for Mike Christopher. He handles it, but now buzzing along behind him. Here's Ladyga, has some room as he tries to blowtorch his way underneath Christopher. Can't do it. He is getting jostled around. Brendon Bock, car number 33. Remember, he was a winner the last time. He is giving up room on the inside for Ladyga, who cannot take advantage of it.
Brendon Bock gaddles back into the 2nd spot. Ladyga, remember, these cars started 8th and 9th. That was scratch and 1 spot in front of it. 12 circuits and counting. Mike Christopher has found the magic here at Stafford. Trouble now is the number 33 of Brendon Bock. Does a 360. Everybody scrambles. Up to 3rd is the 32 of Kyle Rogers. Good move for him. And the 15, Chris Fuller, makes his presence known. He will now challenge Dana DiMatteo. It's good to see Chris coming on strong with that 15 car.
Kyle Rogers has never had a podium finish in his legend career. But to get one, he is going to have to hold off the red-hot Dana DiMatteo. That is a battle for third and fourth. And Brendon Bock, a pretty good recovery in car number 33. He is a reigning champion at Riverhead and Mountain Speedway. Mike Christopher continues to work his magic at the front of the field.
Well, Mike Christopher is not only the leader, but he is starting to pull away. Those lap times are picking up rather feverishly. Nick Ladyga has come from the back of the pack, and now all of a sudden Ladyga seems to have a little more giddy up. He starts to close things up just a bit in the battle for first and second.
And he has time, 4 laps to go. Here is Dana DiMatteo trying to move into the podium, and he is able to scorch his way underneath Rogers. Rogers now in 5th as Brendon Bock is able to get underneath him.
Good battle right there as the 76 of Dana DiMatteo is now on the podium, but the 33 is coming back to life. Brendon Bock, this time by 2 circuits to go from Tim Bennett on the starter's stand. Mike Christopher's finally got the monkey off his back here in the Legends at Stafford if he can hold on for the final 2.
His dad has 3 SK champions at the Speedway. Mike Christopher looking for his first ever Legends win. He is 1 lap away. Ladyga in 2nd. DiMatteo holding off Brendon Bock for 3rd. Here comes Mike Christopher in the famous car number 82.
Final time through the 3rd turn, off the 4th turn. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Christopher has done it. He will take down the win. Nicholas Ladyga will finish in 2nd. 3rd goes to the 76 of Dana DiMatteo. And in the 4th spot, Brendon Bock with the number 33 car, followed by the 32 of Kyle Rogers. The 75 will be next of Cory DiMatteo, and the 16 car of Jordan LaMothe, followed by the 15 of Chris Fuller and the 31 of Noah Korner.
Boy, this is a very significant moment for the entire Christopher family as Mike Christopher has won here on Wild Thing Karts as he was a junior outlaw champion in 2012, went to the Legends, had 0 wins in 2013. This year, this is his 16th victory, but more importantly, his first win ever at Stafford. And when you think of Stafford, the SKs, Mike and Ted Christopher, 2 of the founding fathers of the SK Modified division here. And tonight it's Mike Christopher Jr. to follow in his dad's footsteps. And that was some pretty good stuff. A good run by Nick Ladyga, who finishes 2nd. And Dana DiMatteo, he will hang on to his point lead with a 3rd place run. So we are getting ready to talk to our winner, Mike Christopher. He is going to be very enthusiastic as he is a very poised young man, a junior at Wilkin High School. And there he is. He climbs out of the car. Let's go to Kelly LaMesa in Napa Victory Lane.
Thank you, Ben and Matt. Grabbing his first Legends victory here at Stafford, whose name is no stranger here, Mike Christopher. Whoop. Mike, you had a very strong race. No one could catch you. What was your strategy there?
I don't know. We just had to get out to the lead quick, and we had a great car tonight, so I got to thank my dad for all he does. And I got to thank my dad again for all he does on the other car at Waterford. He sets that one up, too. So we've won at Waterford on Wednesday, so now we have here for Friday. Then we're going to Bethel tomorrow for Saturday. So hopefully we can, get the streak.
Good luck with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And 2nd place, we have Nicholas Ladyga. Nick, you had a strong race too. Couldn't catch up to Mike, and battling for 2nd and 3rd at the end. What was your strategy to get 2nd?
I knew it was a short race, so I knew I had to come from the back pretty quick. That last restart, I got pushed up a little bit in the marbles. The 33 got by me, and he kind of left the door open going into 1. I stuck the nose in there. He kind of came down. I washed up. It was just a racing deal. I apologize for that. I'll talk to him after the race. But I just needed 2 more laps. I would have got Mikey. We were a lot faster, but it's always next week.
Thank you again. Well, these Legends cars are so fast, and down here you don't realize it. And now we have 3rd place, Dana DiMatteo. again, you three were just crazy at the end, and you got third over. And who'd you like to thank?
I'd like to thank Manafort Brothers, CWPM, Island Cove Marina, Stein Pro, FK Rod Ends, J&J Racing, Waddell Communications. Everybody jumps on board to get this car here every week, and it wouldn't be possible without them.
Thanks again.
Menditto.
In car number 31 will be Steve Kopcik as we have started. Trouble for the mayor, Joey Ferrigno, winds up in John Deere country, comes back out of the track. A very dangerous move there as they are tangled up in turn number 1.
Two cars stop just before they make contact with the cement wall before the safer barrier down in turn number 1. Who are those two cars? It looks like it was Jeremy Sorel, the 77, and no question about it, we saw the mayor, Joey Ferrigno, down on the grass, up on the asphalt, and headed straight for the gong.
And when you go to Weed Whacker country and come back out on the asphalt, it is very difficult to control your speed. And he tangled up with a point leader, Jeremy Sorel. So a very great plot development already.
Want to remind everybody that coming up next, the biggest payday in the history of racing for the SK Modifieds in a pre-race ceremony and all the drama of how many laps will the SK Modifieds be running and much, much more. If you're going to visit those concessions, you might think about it during the next caution because it's the calm before the storm.
Let's go back through the field. We left with Steve Kopcik in car number 31. The Shark will be starting 9th from Stafford. Shark Cycle brings us Bob Charland.
Car number 54 is the Randy's Trucking number 54 for David Burnham out of East Hartford.
And we've already met the driver of car number 87, Joey Ferrigno.
Prospect, Connecticut's Nick Salva. Car number 98 starts 12th.
The point leader, car number 77, Jeremy Sorel.
Wesley Prucker, the 22 out of Stafford, in the 14th position.
Then it will be the 12 from Plantsville, Rit Dulac.
And then it'll be Glenn Griswold, car number 79, Jodi Johnson in the 53.
And Robert Palmer in the 45, and the Outlaw, Carlos Gray in car number 39 as we go back up to speed.
Green is out, and Podium Paul looks racy. Todd Douillard gets better each and every time out. Boisjolie, the same can be said. And look at that inside lane, Matt. It is where all the muscle is right now as Dylan Menditto follows Tyler Hines to the front of the class.
Taking over the top spot is Geoff Boisjolie, and Tyler Hines is able to sizzle his way into second. Dylan Menditto, 1 win this year, and he is able to missile his way into the top 3.
Charland is up to the 4th spot. Here comes Jay Goff. He works his presence on the inside of French. Back up front, Boisjolie looking racy. Off turn number 4 to the stripe. It's Boisjolie. Hines pulls out of line. Bonsai move to the bottom. Going. Nope, it just doesn't happen there.
As a good exit off turn number 2 for Geoff Boisjolie as he is able to nurse his lead. Another shot being taken by Tyler Hines. Tyler Hines, he is either red hot or he is extremely unlucky. This might be one of his hot streaks. And Dylan Menditto is starting to crowd him in second place.
Menditto started 7th. He's already tasted the sweets of victory lane. He's going back for his second run at it in the 3rd spot. Charland looking stronger than he has in quite some time. He finished on the podium last Friday night. Here's Tyler Hines tucking out a line, and that gives Menditto the option of pick or choose, inside or outside, and it looks like the inside is going to work for Tyler Hines.
As he is trying to tucker out Boisjolie, he is on the verge of taking over the lead. The next contingent of cars led by Jay Goff, but we have almost a dead heat. The top 3 cars can fit inside a peach pit. As they go into turn 2, we have a yellow.
Caution comes out on the field.
Carlos Gray, one of the cars involved in the 69.
And believe it or not, a car that was up there in the situation is our ride car that was also there
Wayne
as well.
Potter. I hope he is okay, as that was Bob Potter getting hooked up with Carlos Gray. Carlos, this is only the 4th time he has ever raced a race on asphalt. He is primarily a dirt driver, and he said it is a much bigger adjustment than he had expected. So I think he had to adjust to the presence of Bob Potter there in turn number 4.
And Tony Sutton is going to be down there checking in with
the most exciting ride that we have had in the history of the 2-seat modified.
So Tony Sutton is down there, and let's go down to Tony Sutton. Tony, is that guy okay?
Well, he's trying to get his helmet off, but I
He's
think the
speechless.
excitement's got him a little tied up. Hey, Bob, you have a flat tire, dude.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I mean, the guy
It's
was
okay.
spinning
It's
and
okay.
going to the bottom, and then he
It's
went-
okay. We understand, Bob. It's okay.
Huh?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're still trying to get the helmet off here. Wow. And you are?
Wayne Cloner.
Well, what did you think, Wayne?
That was awesome.
Yeah, even the contact?
Even with the contact, just the corners, that's scary, the corners.
Well, obviously, he had a good time. I just don't think he's going to get over it for a while. But Bob's got to get some new tires. And he, anyway, we'll maybe see if we can do something for him back upstairs.
And, you know, his laundryman's going to find out just exactly how awesome that ride was. There's no question about that.
He might have to find a 24-hour laundromat on the way home tonight. 5 laps in, and all you sons and daughters in the audience, do what James Clotter did for his dad tonight. Give him a ride in his car as we go back to another Flamingo Motorsports report in Tony Sutton.
Correct, but I was trying to be politically correct. They're trying to pry him out of the seat now, back upstairs.
Okay.
Sticky situation. Sticky situation.
Yeah, well, he looked good in our shot.
Okay, let's get back to the racing.
Tyler
5
Hines
of the 20.
just has taken over the lead, and good run by Geoff Boisjolie. This is the way he ran at the tail end of the 2013 season. A very competitive night so far for Geoff. Dylan Menditto is right there as we get ready to turn the ignition key on lap number 5.
Here they come off turn number 4. Down to the stripe. Dead heat as they cross to the line. Sorel, car 77. Watch that black car. It's already up into the top 10. Here comes Menditto. Inside, 29 car. Keep your eyes on that. Boisjolie on the high side. Charland and Goff, Matt, row 2.
And now it is time for a bid for the lead. Dylan Menditto, he is trying to boogie his way underneath the 25 of Tyler Hines. Hines is caught up on the outside, and we have a new leader, Dylan Menditto.
Dylan Menditto takes over the lead. Boisjolie back in this one, and look at Charland. Charland goes to the outside of Boisjolie, and here comes Nick Salva. Salva is a man with a mission, fast race car. Dylan Menditto, the leader, is the fastest, last time by 20.395. Speed in excess of 87 miles per hour.
Nick Salva started to make some noise at car number 98 as he wanders to the outside groove, trying to get some bite against Boisjolie. Jay Goff is in front of him, but Dylan Menditto getting ready to withstand another challenge from Tyler Hines.
Tyler Hines trying to get back into this one to take back that lead. Now, Sorel made a little contact with Glenn Griswold. Salva bouncing around a bit. Ferrigno is there. And now getting shuffled back is Sorel with a 77 car. Back up front. Halfway to go.
Two of the older guys are having a lot of fun out there. Bob Charland in the 1. Jay Goff in car number 07. Then it's Boisjolie. Here comes Nick Salva going to work as he tries to whirlwind his way underneath Branden Dion. And Dion is tough on that outside. Here comes Salva as Dion wanders into the ice road trucker section of the track. And Salva takes the spot.
Dion brings it back down, but he loses the position, and now Sorel is there with a 77. up front. Leader still remains Menditto. Then Tyler Hines still all over him. He can run at his tire tracks, but he can't seem to pick a spot to make the magic on the in or the outside. Trouble. Boisjolie goes spinning. Joey Ferrigno squeaks on by. That was a close one.
And let's see if Boisjolie can get it out of the weeds. He is still tangled up. And now the yellow comes out as Geoff Boisjolie had such a very promising run early in this race. But right now he gets into the rough stuff off of turn number 2 to bring out our first yellow on lap number 13. Dylan Menditto and Tyler Hines, they're having a great battle. Or second yellow, excuse me. Coming up in August and September, we have a couple of great shows on Stories from Victory Lane as we talk to some of the great drivers in the SK Light division. Our August show, which will be available on many local cable access channels and will also be available on YouTube. We will have Jay Goff and Bob Charland as our guests. And in our September show, it was a great show. Tyler Hines, Todd Douillard, and Jeremy Sorel. So those are 2 half-hour shows, Stories from Victory Lane, and you can check them out on YouTube. In August, we will have Bob Charland and Jay Goff, and then our 3 drivers, Tyler Hines, Todd Douillard, and, of course, Jeremy Sorel. And if you catch it in July, you can still see the show that we did on the Casa Grande brothers. That's on YouTube right now, 2 of our late model drivers.
Field is crossing over, 12 of the 20 into the books. Lights are off on the safety vehicle at the point, Matt. And now we're looking at timing and scoring. The fastest lap turned in this race was Joey Ferrigno.
It shows you how desperate the mare is after getting kicked into the curb. Lights are on out of the parking lot. Massachusetts registration 462 RNA Black Grand Cherokee. Also a black Cadillac. Massachusetts registration R26522.
Green is out. They rumble to the start-finish line. Menditto. Look at Tyler Hines. Top side of the racetrack, same story, different players. Charette Goff. And now Charette tries to take a peek at second. Goff goes up the hill. Salva is still there. Dion and Sorel.
And now Menditto able to get a little bit of a cushion between himself and Tyler Hines. Swinging it to the outside, Jay Goff. Pretty impressive move. 3 wide behind him. Backing off is Salva. In the middle of the situation is Bob Charland. And Jeremy Sorel has come out of nowhere to move. Or that is Dion coming into the number 4 spot.
Ferrigno still trying to find a hole to get to the front. As now Charland is door handle to door handle in a battle with Dion as they come off the turn, Matt. And Dion picks up position 4.
Look at Joey Ferrigno drive the wheels off car number 87. He has just gotten underneath Stephen Kopcik, and now he will attack the back bumper of the Nick Salva car. Joey Ferrigno is definitely in a hurry.
Here comes Salva. Will Ferrigno follow him through? 3 wide. Back to the stripe. Trouble.
Charland hits the wall. Bob Charland hit the wall hard.
So Charland was right in the midst of all of that. And in a chain reaction after the fact, Nick Salva is up in turn number 2.
Well, he had a 5th place car before that happened. So Nick Salva in trouble. He is able to drive away. But Bob Charland is not going to be as fortunate as he just smacked that front straightaway wall.
So a tough situation there for the Shark Cycle machine as it hit at it right about at the start-finish line. Then he had it gathered back, and then it hit a second hit solid into the wall and kind of rode the wall down towards turn number 1.
And they both were 2 substantial hits So some punishment there for that number 1 car.
We are on lap number 16, 4 laps remaining in this event before the determination of the laps, the pre-race festivities, in the biggest payday in the history of SK Modified Racing. You saw the qualifying, you saw the consolation events, but you haven't seen anything yet. As the intensity builds in the paddock area, nobody knows what to expect. Nobody knows how many laps.
Now, you're a car owner in the past, and you know a lot about this. What's the difference as far as setup is concerned between a 76-lap feature and a 100-lap feature? Now, the drivers and the crews do not know if it's going to be 76, 80, or 100. What kind of stress does that put on the crews?
I think it puts a lot on them because of the fact that here at Stafford in our events, we don't have cautions counting. And due to the fact that we have no cautions counting, you can pit. You can make an adjustment. You can come from the back of the field to the front of the field in this. And we've seen that time and time again here. So it'll be interesting to see. I think the story of this is tire management. And Jack talked about it before. What we call the feel goods, the tires that they put on that makes the car seem like brand new. That deal is out the window in this. You had to save your tires right from the first lap of qualifying tonight in order to have that little extra giddy up for the main event.
But you're caught between a rock and a hard place because you want to save your tires, but you also, as Ryan Priest said, he wants to get out, at least to get into the top 5 early and get track position, because nobody wants to be stuck in the rear of the field. So you have to run aggressively enough to get in the upper tier of the field, but patiently enough to save your tires till the end. That puts a lot of strain on the crew and really makes the crew and the setup people big players on what is going to happen tonight.
Remember something else, too. Ryan Priest is used to running on the Modified Tour. How many laps? 150. Keith Rocco won last week, 80 laps, okay, running the Modified Race Series. Those guys understand what it's like to run 76, 80, or 100. Some of the other SK Modified competitors, they haven't done that. They haven't been there yet.
And I think on the Wheeling Tour, too, that experience enables a driver to get used to running hard for 150 laps. So,
speaking about running hard, it is going to be a dogfight for the final 4 circuits. It doesn't sound like long, but it is just 2 miles. 2 miles. Bragging rights and Napa Victory Lane. Nothing like it here at Stafford.
Tyler Hines does not come up to speed.
And that works to the advantage of Dylan Menditto. And ditto for the number 07 of Jay Goff. Oh, Sorel and Hines touch, but believe it or not, they're okay. And look at Dion. He's there, Matt.
Yes, Sorel tried to force the issue against Dion. It came up empty. Now we have a great fight for 3rd and 4th between Branden and Dion on the outside, Tyler Hines on the inside. Hines currently has the advantage. Dylan Menditto will have the lead with 2 laps to go, and in his tire tracks is Jay Goff.
Goff isn't about to give up. Tyler Hines still runs the bottom. Dion, loosey-goosey on the outside. This time, when they come to the stripe, the Irish linen is out. 1 to go.
And it's a big lead for Dylan Menditto, trying to land his win for the 2nd time this season. The best battle for 3rd and 4th. Tyler Hines is taking control of that. Here comes Menditto into turn number 4.
Win number 2 in 2014. Dylan Menditto has done it. He will cross the stripe first. Jay Goff to finish in 2nd. Tyler Hines for 3rd. Branden Dion to finish in the 4th spot. And Jeremy Sorel to round out the top 5.
A great run for a rookie driver, Steve Kopcik, who finishes 6th. Nick Salva 7th. The mare, Joey Ferrigno, overcame his first lap difficulty to finish 8th. Todd Doulard 9th. And Jodi Johnston, her first top 10 of the year in car number 53.
Wesley Prucker will finish in the 11th spot. Paul French from the pole to 12th. Glenn Griswold, 13th position. Rick Dulac is 14th. And Geoff Boisjolie to round out the top 15.
Then it was Robert Palmer finishing 16th. Carlos Gray, 17th. And Bob Charland, a tough hit for him. He finishes 18th, and he will have a lot of work to do. There is Dylan Menditto. It was a pretty good race early on between him and Tyler Hines, and Menditto just was able to devour him, and then he held off Jay Goff at the end. So a very entertaining SK Light feature tonight as we get ready for the race, I guess, of the century here at Stafford. The biggest purse ever for an SK modified race. It is coming up next, right after we visit in Napa Victory Lane. Dylan Menditto getting ready to climb out of the car.
And now we shift our attention trackside to Napa Victory Lane.
The day at the top of the time charts, and at the end of the night, you're atop the podium. Talk about that race out there.
It was a good race. Car got a little tight towards the end. I was getting nervous with the cars behind me, but I stuck it out and finished the race.
You must have a lot of people to thank as well.
I'd like to thank all my sponsors: Darren's Electrical Services, Tilly's Automotive, H&H Builders, Don's Designs, and I want to thank Rad for giving us power, and I want to thank my dad most of all for getting us here every week.
Well, he's definitely got to the top step of the podium again here in Napa Victory Lane. Dylan Menditto, his second win of the season in the SK Light Modifieds. This will bring in one of the lofty veterans, Jay Goff. Made a heck of a run up to second place in the closing laps.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. My car was tight most of the afternoon. We made some adjustments, thought we'd fix it up. It was pretty good the first half of the race, but it stayed tight, got worse towards the end. I was able to hold them off on the restarts. I was really happy about that.
Who would you like to thank for your podium run tonight?
Well, I want to thank Matt Butler for interviewing me last night. I appreciate that, Matt. Obviously, my fans in Turn 1 and in Turn 4. Love those guys. My team, my SWAT team, Sean, Wayne, Aaron, and Troy, my family, Napa of Talon, Rob D's Plumbing Service, and 78 Publication.
Okay, that's a story for the number 2 man in the field tonight, Jay Goff, as we'll bring in our third place finisher tonight, Tyler Hines. You had quite an adventure out there as well, up near the front of the field.
Yeah, car was just a little loose all race long coming off. I thought I could have had something for Dylan there on that last restart. Just, I don't know, I might have messed up on the restart, I guess. But what can you do? We're back in the top 3, which is all I could ask for.
Who would you like to thank for your third place run tonight?
I got to thank all my sponsors, Sunnyside Up Early Learning Center, Leslie's Jeweler, Whaley Chiropractic, AAA of Southern New England, Napa of West Haven, along with Napa for all they put on for the track, Roberts Service Center, Trimino Protein Infused Water, Bruno's Garage, DC Rentals, Advice One, AccuLift of Berlin, and Gunsmoke Stables for the motor.
Okay, that's a story here in the SK Lights.
Goffster was on the podium last week at car number 07. Here is Jay Goff.
Here's a mover and a shaker. The RH2A Radio Communications RK Machine Brothers Pool Car. Joey Ferrigno out of East Hartford, Connecticut, car number 87.
JG Pool and Drywall brings us car number 98, Nick Salva.
And then we go to the 77 of Jeremy Sorel, Dylan Menditto, the 29. Peter Lopuch in the number 71.
Ferrigno goes around as he was hammered from behind by the 77 of Sorel, and they wound up on the safety road. So problems for the mare.
And he spins to the inside of the racetrack. And will it bring out a caution? Let's see what's going to happen.
The Bears back out, but the yellow comes out as well.
Oh, and into the front straightaway wall.
Jake Goff.
And the right front wheel literally folded back and up. Wow, he climbed the front straightaway wall after the fact as the caution flag came out. So Jay Goff's bad luck continues with no laps into the record books.
That tire is not even on the ground in car number 07. It is twisted into the air.
Pit stopper program. Don't forget, besides the autograph session, Family Ford of Enfield is offering $25 off, a $100 purchase. Extra Mart offering a free cup of coffee. 7-Eleven offers you a quarter pounder off a Big Bite. And those are just some of many, many deals available exclusively in our Pit Stopper program. Right now, our attention shifts down to Connor Sullivan.
Well, one of the happier drivers in the SK Lights has got to be the driver of the car number 98, Nick Salva. He comes into the night second in the point standings, just 12 points out, and consistency has been his best friend this season as well. He's got a win as well. It's kept him up in the points, and when I talked to him earlier today, his crew was actually anxious to take a look at my notes and check out the point standings. They are confident and they are ready to go for the championship as we work the latter stages of the season.
You know, we didn't mention another added starter to this race. We have our ride car, driven by Bob Potter, our two-seat modified, which is out for every SK Light feature. And we would like to welcome Cindy Klein, who is in the passenger seat of that car. And she will be having a joyride, courtesy of Bob Potter. So you see that car now heading into turn number 3. That is Cindy Klein with Bob Potter. And remember, all you have to do is contact Stafford Speedway, and you could be in that car. So we are on hold, and we did not start a lap, or didn't finish a lap. So we had problems in the beginning, and I thought it was over when Joey Ferrigno was able to get his car moving again. But the dark skies opened up again, and it surrounded Jay Goff in car number 07. He started the season with 3 DNFs. So he finally got his season pointed in the right direction with a podium last week, and now he is struck by bad luck again.
Sure is, and you can see the right front suspension damage done on the Goff machine. So Goff will be car being brought back to the center of the infield. And Matt, you had the opportunity to do some interviewing for television.
Yeah, if you watch Stories with Victory Lane every week on public access, I know it's on Tuesdays at 7:30 at Cox Communications Public Access in the Stafford Enfield area. We have Jay Goff and Bob Charland as our guests, and that will be on throughout the month of July. So if you want to hear from 2 old veterans, it was a very good show, and Jay Goff and Bob Charland, 2 classy drivers, 2 classy people. So hopefully you'll catch that. It's also available on YouTube. Stories from Victory Lane is the name of the show, and this month's featured drivers are Bob Charland and Jay Goff. And Stafford Speedway, we're happy to have them as our sponsor for Stories from Victory Lane. In the month of August, we will have 3 more SK Light drivers, Todd Douillard, Tyler Hines, and Jeremy Sorel. So 2 great shows coming up, but right now, during July, it is the Goffster, Jay Goff, and Bob Charland, the Shark.
That's right. And right down front, we want you to take a look at those 2 trucks provided by Family Ford of Enfield. If you're in the market for a newer used vehicle, it's Family Ford of Enfield, suppliers of the official trucks used by the safety service crew. And take a look at that mule. That's that unique 4x4 vehicle located just to the left of the Boston Strong. That's provided by Flamingo Motorsports that are located Munson Palmer, Mass. You can purchase a mule or any other great off-road vehicle, or maybe a new motorcycle or a snowmobile. Flamingo Motorsports. Again, we certainly hope that you'll be stopping by and checking all the great deals that they have for you. Lights are off on the safety vehicle. No laps up on the board. Heartbreaker already for Jay Goff. 20 circuits last time. Joey Ferrigno had a problem initially on the start. Let's see what's going to happen. Burnham and Boisjolie on the outside of the front row. Green is out. And this time, Tyler Hines has a problem of getting up to speed, Max.
So he is loitering in the back of the pack, right at the middle. And here comes Nick Salva to try to thunder underneath him. At the front of the field, we have a fight for the lead between DJ Burnham on the inside, Jeff Boisjolie on the outside. They wing it off the corner, and it's dead even, hitting the line.
They hit down to the bottom of turn 1, and Burnham tries to hold on. Boisjolie still runs high, wide, and handsome, but look at the 77. Jeremy Sorel started 11, 3 wide, bid for the lead. Burnham still fighting for that number 1 spot, up the hill and contending. On the outside is Brandon Dion. Now, Dion made his debut in the $10,000 modified tour type race at Seacock and did quite well for himself as a graduate and a competitor in his rookie season here in the SK Lights.
Boy, it's like he was fired out of a harpoon gun to the outside, 3 wide. In the middle is Boisjolie. On the inside is Sorel. And making progress on the outside groove is Brandon Dion. We have 2 cars together. It is Tyler Hines and the Shark, Bob Charland. They tangled up, and there's 2 cars behind them.
Looks like Dulac is involved in that as well, Matt. And maybe the 53 car.
That would be Jodi Johnson
Yes.
in the 53.
I think that is the 4th car that was caught up in that mix-up there on the racetrack itself. Bob Charland has had no luck at all, by the way, in 2014. He has just been one of those guys that's been in the wrong place at the wrong time, no fault of his own, and he just can't shake the monkey off his back.
You know, one thing about the determination of Jay Goff, you saw him go out early tonight, and you see that car on the safety road. He is in his 50s, but he said because he had such a bad start this year that he not only plans on coming back next season, but he is going to try to be a contender for the championship. So Jay Goff has already started making his plans for 2015.
He certainly has, and you know, what's interesting is when he doesn't have bad luck, he's always right up front.
Yeah, and we saw last week as he got a podium finish, his best outing of the year. But it's DJ Burnham out in front. Jeremy Sorel, our point leader. There's a guy who last season was racing fender cars in North Carolina, as that's where he was living at the time. He was at speedways like Hickory in North Carolina, decided to move back up to Massachusetts. So he decided to go into the open wheel modifieds, and he says he likes the open wheels a lot better. He says the fender cars are more of a muscle car. Here you can finesse it. He said it's really a driver-friendly car. He really likes the way you can finesse a car, and you don't really have to pound your way or muscle your way that you have to sometimes in the fender car. So Jeremy Sorel, he is a convert as far as the fun of driving an SK Light is concerned.
But it looks like now the Jodi Johnson car is being brought back to the center of the infield. Jodi Johnson is a college graduate with a career in marketing. She went to Charlotte and worked at Charlotte Motor Speedway for a while, decided to come back and race. She competed in a limited schedule in the SK Modifieds at the Thompson Speedway before the season. Her and her boyfriend put together this race car. They do a really good job with it. There's no big financing and there's no big crew or any of the above. And she's done quite well.
Yeah, and she went to North Carolina State.
Yep.
So she was an old member of the Wolfpack.
That's right.
Not the Hartford Wolfpack, but the North Carolina Wolfpack.
So the field is doubled up and ready to go back to green.
This should be a blockbuster restart between DJ Burnham and Jeremy Sorel. Let's see what happens as they lightning bolt their way off the corner. Great getaway for DJ Burnham. Dion does not come up to speed, and getting bottled up behind him is Stephen Kopcik.
Dion all of a sudden gets back on the throttle. Here comes Sorel to the outside of Burnham. 3 wide. Look at Joey Ferrigno. Look at Dion. Boisjolie drops further back among the top 5 cars. Burnham is skating at the point, but still holding on as the leader.
Going down low is Sorel. Slingshot move. Will the crossover work? Trouble in the turn as Salva gets kicked to the turn.
Salva's car literally started to puff some smoke All of a sudden, he's back into it, but not as strong. Back up front off turn number 4. Here comes Burnham to try to take back the lead from Sorel. It just doesn't happen. Dion is the mover and shaker. So far this season, his best finish was a 4th. Now he's looking for a 2nd and perhaps a victory, as it's a long way from over with yet. 15 laps and counting, Matt. Here comes Dion to the outside.
Boy, he was able to screech by Burnham to get into 2nd. Now he is in the hip pocket of Jeremy Sorel as they cha-cha their way off of turn number 2. Ferrigno holding off Kopcik. Kopcik is a rookie driver who has come into his own tonight.
He sure has. He ran very strong in his qualifying round. Kopcik goes up the hill. Ferrigno, a good comeback. He's among the top 5 cars. And here is Menditto. Menditto also there. They're 3 wide than leader. Dion touches with Sorel, and that gives Joey Ferrigno the opportunity to move in the 3rd spot. Ferrigno is a mover and shaker. Look at Dion to the outside of Sorel. 3 wide action at the bottom of the top 5.
It works for Menditto, but it worked better for Kopcik as he is able to move from 6th into 4th place. Battle for the lead. Here comes a teenager, Branden Dion, a rookie driver, trying to take the lead away from Jeremy Sorel.
They are closer than most people park. They rim ride off turn number 4, back to the stripe. They cross the line, and the scoreboard shows that Branden Dion is now the brand new leader. Sorel tries to settle back in for 2nd. Ferrigno, that sly old dog, is setting in the 3rd spot, as again, a little further back, here comes Tyler Hines and Dylan Menditto. Back to the line they come, and Dion is still the brand new leader.
Remember, Tyler Hines had so much trouble early in this race. He has moved up into the upper tier of the field. Menditto going to work against Kopcik as he tries to razor blade his way underneath the 31 car. It's not happening yet as they exit turn 4.
That time, Dion slipped up the racetrack just a bit, and Sorel saw a little daylight at the bottom. He'll take a peek at the inside. It just doesn't work. Off the turn and down the back straightaway. Ferrigno is there. 3 black cars contending for 1 position. They come around turn number 4. Dion a little bit high again, and that seems to work to the advantage of Sorel as he now makes a bid for it in turn 1.
But not enough energy to complete the move. So
trouble.
Dion, trouble
Menditto
is
goes
Menditto.
around.
Wow.
Caution flag is out. Nick Salva also spins to the inside of the racetrack. Mechanical problem, the story on the Salva machine, because it literally dropped off the pace, and Menditto was also running very strong among the top 5 cars here. He was in the 6th spot when the altercation took place. Tony Sutton is down with our guests in the 2-seater.
That was totally awesome.
And I understand it's your birthday present. What, was there a big bow around the car when you got to it?
Oh yeah, a big heart, yeah, a big bow.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, if the smile is any indication of how much fun she had, it's going to take a long time to wipe that smile off, because she is a happy young lady back upstairs.
You know, Tony, we remind the race fans you can book for next Friday night. Now, remember, next Friday night, it's the Call Before You Dig, NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour and the Wheel and All-American Series. The 3rd stop here at Stafford for the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. We want you to come out and be a part of history in the making. Get those tickets early, come early, and enjoy the festivities and the atmosphere of the next big event, the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, right here next Friday night, the Call Before You Dig special.
Let's tell you something about Branden Dion. He is 16 years old, a student at Bristol Plymouth High in Taunton, Mass. He started in go-karts with the mini cups, won 2 races last year in the sportsman trucks. He is having the race of his SK Light life so far tonight. Let's see what kind of restart he can get against Sorel.
His best finish before tonight was a 4th. He's now challenging for the lead. Sorel is right there. Ferrigno is there. Been there, done that. Meanwhile, Kopcik is back up among the top 4. Tyler Hines is now in the 5th position, and Boisjolie refuses to be left out of the big dance up front.
And Joey Ferrigno refuses to give up as he tries to roller coaster his way underneath Sorel, and he is going to pull off the move. Joey Ferrigno, keep an eye on him as he is able to thunder his way into 2nd.
Clock is ticking, 7 circuits and counting down. It is now Ferrigno up to second. Kopcik into third. Here comes Tyler Hines. We haven't talked much about him as Sorel is trying to fight back in the outside lane, but the inside seems to be working well for Tyler Hines and Kopcik.
As Tyler Hines was jostled around early in the race, but he is in his rhythm now, striking to the outside. Jeremy Sorel trying to take third back from Kopcik. We have rookies running first and third. Kopcik leading by about the width of a credit card against a 77 of Sorel.
Sure is evenly matched. They are still right there running side by side, lap after lap. This time 16 flash up on the board. Still a dogfight battle for that third spot, and Tyler Hines just refuses to be left out of this one. Another 3-wide battle, best we've seen Prucker run in 2014. He challenges on the bottom.
Boy, an Evel Knievel move there as he surrounded Burnham and Boisjolie, but he loses a position. The script has been set at the front of the field. Branden Dion looking for his first ever win in his rookie season, and he is going to have to hold off one of the experienced veterans, Joey Ferrigno, to do that.
Meanwhile, they come off turn number 4, 1 mile left, and Dion made the mistake of leaving the door open off turn 4. Here comes Ferrigno, glued to his back bumper. Remember, Dion's Achilles heel has been turn 4, where he drifts up high on the racetrack. Ferrigno gives him a smooch, bonsai move to the bottom. Side by side racing. There's Dion's Achilles heel, the high side. White flag is out, 1 lap to go.
Ferrigno in the lead. Here comes Dion. Dion moves back in front. They scorch their way down the backstretch. Ferrigno looking to make a power move as they enter turn number 3. Ferrigno, Dion dead even as they go into turn 4.
Off turn number 4, back to the stripe they come. Double checkers, they rim ride, they touch. And the scoreboard will tell the story. Timing and scoring will show that Joey Ferrigno will take down the victory. Branden Dion, an amazing run for second. Jeremy Sorel to finish in third. Tyler Hines for fourth. And Stephen Kopcik to round out the top 5.
DJ Burnham in 6th. Geoff Boisjolie in 7th. Wesley Prucker in 8th. Todd Douillard in 9th. And rounding out the top 10, Dylan Menditto.
The 11th spot goes to Bob Charland. Peter Lopuch will finish in the 12th spot. Rick Dulac 13th. Paul French 14th. And Nick Salva to round out the top 15.
Carlos Gray was 16th. Jodi Johnson 17th. And Jay Goff was the first car knocked out of the race. What a finish. Joey Ferrigno by a molecule over Branden Dion in one of the closest SK Light finishes of the season.
Want to remind everybody, it's not too late to Facebook us. Continue to tag on Stafford Speedway on Twitter with the hashtag StaffordFBF to be entering the drawing for 2 tickets to the Valente Modified Racing Series event here at Stafford. All you have to do is pick the winner in the late model. So it's not too late. Message us right now.
Last week we got more than 500 tweets, so we're looking for more tonight. As tell us what's on your mind. We have an interactive booth here at Stafford Speedway. So right now Tony Sutton is standing by. The mayor, Joey Ferrigno, with one of the most electrifying finishes of his career, is getting ready to climb out of the car at Napa Victory Lane.
Well, Joey's got all the safety gear off and take a little drink of water to replace what was lost during that race. And the mayor will be out of his car momentarily. Well, congratulations going on before he exits the car. With the flag in hand, Joey Ferrigno out of the number 87. Now that was a race. That was fun to watch. I'm assuming. Well, obviously the celebration sort of included me. Obviously, from your vantage point, that was probably one of the closest races in this division in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, coming around after the checkered flag, I had to look at the board and see if I had him beat at the line or not. I mean, my guys do so much work on this car. I mean, Paul French, I mean, the setup he puts under me every week, you know, and Gino coming out financially, wouldn't have been able to put tires on it tonight. I mean, when I got spun originally, you know, the car wasn't handling as good as I wanted it to, but, I mean, the thing was amazing. I just, you know, I got to thank all my guys, you know. Big Frank, Dean, Debbie. I got to thank Lenny. Got to thank Greg, Zappa. You know, everybody that helps me out. Got to thank Kurt D'Addario's Auto Service, Stevens Ductwork. I got to thank Dan Petrovsky, Donnie over at Rad Auto Machine. I got to thank George for helping me out whenever he can. My cheering section over in turn 4. You know, my sister from coming down from New Hampshire. And I mean, this is just phenomenal. You know, 3 wins in a season. I can't remember the last time I did that.
Well, Joey, a great drive and a little lesson for the young man behind you. But boy, I tell you what, he drove a whale of a race as well. That young man's got a future. But you are in victory lane. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, he's coming along real nice. I didn't think I was going to have anything for him. You know, got to thank the fans for cheering us on, putting us here every week, their roots, and just everybody that helps out.
All right, Joey, go celebrate with your crew. Now, this is your first time on the podium, but I'll tell you what, you impressed a lot of people, Brendon, with the way you drove that car. The 04 car was out front more than was any place else on a racetrack. What did you learn from this race?
Oh, I definitely learned a lot of experience, you know, like car control and just keep my equipment under me just for the end.
Well, obviously, the end put you in second spot. I know there's a lot of folks that work with you and make this car get on a racetrack and go as fast as it does. Why don't you mention a couple of them?
My mom and dad, got to thank them. Got to thank Tony from TA, everybody over there. Douglas A. King Builders. Just my parents. They just, you know, the ones that brought me out here.
Well, I'll tell you what. As they stand by waiting to give you a big hug, congratulations on second spot. Your first trip to the podium, but I don't think it's going to be your last.
Thank you.
Well, that 77 car was running good, and as we talked about earlier in the welding trailer, you were close, dude.
Yeah, we had a good run. You know, had a tough start there, but we recovered well. You know, definitely been some stuff up in the front end, but you know, we got really tight at the end of the race. Hopefully, you know, we'll get it fixed back up, come back out, and try to get another win next week.
Well, the Sorel name's going to be on this trophy for winning the race soon. I can tell that because your rhythm is very, very consistent, and you're right on the wheel on every corner. Congratulations on third place.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps it up down here in Victory Lane.